I'm kind of a ham when there's cameras on, so I'm just.
Oh, don't you know.
I am.
Can we trust the audio? It's really not funny.
I've got something to do that.
My phone says it's not.
I just sent you a message that updates went out the first night, we all got them.
Will I?
In last night. Never mind. Talk later.
Thank you.
Oh, this one.
Okay, should we get started? Okay, we will open the communication meeting. It is Friday, May 12th, 2023. A live broadcast will be streamed on the school district YouTube page. You can access the link from the school district Menominee Falls Board website, or you can watch the recorded meeting. Please visit our website, www.fallsschools.org/board. We're starting the meeting at 8 a.m. this morning up in Village Hall, upper level conference room, 3344-45 at W156 N8480 Pilgrim Road, Menominee Falls, Wisconsin. Kim, was the meeting properly posted?
Yes, it was.
Okay, I need to make a motion to approve the minutes from our March 15th meeting. So I will make a motion. Need a second?
A second.
Any questions or changes?
No.
Okay, all those approved?
Aye.
Aye. All right, our next item is communication plan. So I asked Amy to put this on so we could catch up, board member Ren to help us with understanding the communication plan and go through kind of an overview and revisit.
Thank you.
Awesome, great, I shared the communication plan with you prior to today to review. I update this document annually based on feedback from the stakeholder surveys that we get from the parent survey and also from the student surveys, or not student surveys, the parent survey and staff surveys. It's a communication roadmap for the district level communications. It contains key stakeholders, guiding principles, communication strategies, outreach, the platforms that we use, guiding principles, lists our social media, email, direct mail, and goals that we have for each year. I update this document every year towards the end of the year so that it's ready to go by July 1st. So that's just, so it keeps the things that we need tight, and then if we have public then that is interested in knowing what communications work is being done, then we have it readily available. Sure. So the 3 goals that were established last year, or for, actually seems like last year, it's actually this year, based on feedback are community satisfaction and trust, external and internal communications, and stakeholder community engagement. At each school we have a webmaster and a social media coordinator that receives a stipend and a defined list of expectations of how often they have to post and things like that. And I work closely with these folks to ensure that there's consistency and that we all collaborate and that we have consistent brand and we have consistent messaging across all of our platforms. These people are amazing and I truly value the work they do because it allows me then to share district-wide what they are doing. So it's really, they are honestly wonderful. So the next steps would be for me to update this July 1st. And for 2023-24, I'm gonna be incorporating more work with principals and building level communications that they can do. And then so that it cascades in with the district communications plans and additional communication training for leadership this summer. Okay, so, and do you have any questions on the plan?
I do not.
Okay.
I did have a chance to kind of review some things and you already answered one of my questions.
Okay.
About, like each school has their own kind of PR person and website person. And I think that they do a great job communicating, all the positive things that are happening around the schools, and I was like, how are they getting all this done? So that makes sense that we do have a point person at each school.
Yeah, and this year, North started their own newsletter and their open rate is phenomenal. I think it's like 80 or 90%. So that's good. And then the high school has also started a newsletter this year. I think the high school goes out every other week and their open rate is at least 80% every other week. So
Sure.
I know North's is like every week and just they skyrocket. Jen Mason does the newsletter there and she does the newsletter and social and web.
Sure.
So she's got her hands full there. So that, is there any other questions on the plan?
No, the other thing I would point out is as we pivot and start to prepare for next year is as we look to talk about any changes we make in communication policy, including that, you already referenced that you wanna include some building messaging, from the principals in there. So that was an important piece to call out. So I think I'll take a deeper look and just see if there's any gaps or changes that we've
Sure.
got on the horizon that we can bake into.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect.
Great.
All right, next one is the year at a glance editorial calendar.
Okay, so the year at a glance document, if you open, you have rights to it. So you can look at it, it's a living document, it's a Google Doc, and it outlines the expectations throughout the year. It's a living document that ebbs and flows as the year progresses. So when it starts in September or July 1st, probably by the next year, that calendar looks totally different as things happen. It contains things that are events, it's basically like the work plan and it's by month. So like this month we have the Youth Apprentices Breakfast, so we'll do PR for that. We've got the staff newsletters on there, family newsletters. It's just the laundry list, the continuing list of work projects that are on deck. And you have access to that at any time.
Sure.
And it has a column that lists the task and then another column that lists on track, follow up or complete. So, and hopefully I can get in there as the day's going and mark that off that it's complete, but sometimes, I'll usually review that every month and then the things that don't happen that are follow-up, I'll then move to the next month, so.
Sure.
So it's just a continuous document, so that's the year at a glance. And then the editorial calendar similarly, is a tool I use to plan, organize and schedule content, hopefully in advance. It serves as a roadmap for content production and identifies key topics, themes and events that we wanna cover. It helps maintain a consistent publishing schedule, which is crucial for building a loyal audience and driving traffic to our website, social media channels. I use this every day. It helps me organize where things are being published, because as far as communications, it's like create once, publish it everywhere you can so that we get the message widespread.
Right.
So on there it does, I've set it up so that I can click like each social channel, the website, if it's going to schools, if it's in a principal newsletter and things like that. So it's all together and again, you have access to all of it.
And that was week by week, I think I saw,
That's
right?
week by
I kind of dove in there a little bit.
Yep.
And so it seemed very organized and easy to stay on top of things.
Good, yeah, it's really been helpful. I really,
Yeah.
The hard part of
Because
that
it's like, just checking in.
is just,
Checking
I'll
boxes.
put it on all these places, but then, to save time, I will sometimes go through and check all the places it's been, which next year should probably be something that I'm able to keep track of, so I know where it is, but maybe you don't, so, just by looking at it, so. So that's that's the editorial calendar. Do you have any questions on any of that?
I don't, I guess the big thing is it's kind of repeatable, so you have a lot of the similar events
Yep.
and then do you add custom content? So if a
Absolutely,
new event or item
Yep.
comes into play, you
Yep.
modify and put it in there?
always,
And then I'm assuming that we would have the opportunity if there's an event or something we wanna add, I know we've talked in the past of how to promote policy or how to promote recaps of school board meetings, are those tactics that we would then add into that?
Correct, yep,
Okay.
and when we were doing board bits, that was one of the items that was on that calendar. Was like the day after the board meeting, I would have board bits on there so that triggered then that content to be created.
Alright, next one is open records request.
I can take that one.
Thank you.
So my role in the process is, as an open record request comes in, I send out the acknowledgement letter that we received the open record request, and then it gets assigned to one of the directors or principals or whoever is the most knowledgeable person to be able to satisfy and answer those questions. And then likewise, I also track progress where we are with them, and at the end, whenever all the records have been retrieved, that gets sent out to the requester also with a letter as a final response. So year to date, and we go, our calendar year is July through July for open record requests. We work with the school calendar. We are currently at 46 requests year to date. 12 requests were just received within this past month. So therefore, we have 19 that are open.
And do you know the age of the oldest one open?
I wanna say February, possibly January, February. I'd have to look, I don't have it.
Okay.
Is it usually the goal to kind of wrap it up by the end of the year, get them all
Um,
fulfilled, if you can?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and we don't wanna wait till the end of the year, we try to get
Yeah.
it as
Well,
quickly
yeah,
as
that's,
we
yeah, that's what I mean.
One of the things that we need to do a better job on, with open records requests is run them by legal counsel, because some of the open records requests that we're getting are coming in, we are not under obligation if we do not have, if we don't have a record. If the record does not exist, there's no open record. So that's one of the things that we need to take a look at, because quite frankly, some of the records have had the staff running around spinning, trying to collect data that does not exist. And the law is very clear that if the record is not there, that the district hasn't created it, there's not a requirement to create one.
Can you
So-
reply that to the person?
Yes, and we
Just to
will
say
be,
we don't have it,
absolutely,
so
yes, and
that we
that would be the reply. For an example, we got an open records request this morning, looking for some data, that data is actually available on DPI's website. And so they will be directed to put a DPI's website where that data exists.
Yeah, great.
So we don't have to,
No, you don't have to go digging for it.
exactly, we don't have to.
You can
correct.
direct,
Correct.
so it's like, just more information seeking. they're
Exactly. And so we're gonna have to figure out, like I said, I think we need to do a better job with that, because quite frankly, it's very time consuming for some of the records that we're being asked for. The other thing is that, and I wanna clarify this with the attorneys, but my understanding with open records is that we also have the right to ask why you are requesting this information, and to see what that information is about. We currently don't do that, we just currently, if an open records request comes in, we just, we try to fulfill it, we try to keep people happy, but.
So if you ask why, will that make or break if you're gonna fulfill it or not?
Not necessarily, but gives us some clarity as to what they might be looking for.
Okay, sure, and direction, yeah,
Right,
okay,
because sometimes the open records are, they appear to be, a fishing expedition is probably the way that I would, they're casting a net in to see what they can find, and we can go from there kind of thing. So if we have some idea of what it is they're really looking for, it's much the same when someone sends in an open records for something that is so broad, that,
they have to narrow it down
right,
and
we
be specific.
have, right, we can go back to them and say, what you're looking for is voluminous, and it's way too big, and we need to pull it back in and operate it that way. So we will be doing that as well, trying to.
That, asking why or stating why, is that in an open record request, like
No.
standard format?
It is not,
No, okay,
no, an open records doesn't say that,
okay,
it just says they follow the standard, this is what we're looking for. We have a right to this under the, Wisconsin state statutes, blah, 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 blah. But we do have that opportunity to go back and say, this is too broad.
Yeah. I think that is the why,
Yeah.
right? The why is, like, you need to narrow it down and be more specific.
Could we just recreate like a form then, if anybody would like to request it?
We could, I don't know that we
So
really
then
need to.
it automatically has a why in there.
Well, I don't know that we need to always ask that.
No.
I mean, I would only ask it frankly if we're unclear as to what they're looking for, but we can certainly do
I mean,
whatever.
it might save time if they're filling out the request and, you know, cause obviously they are already being asked to be
Yep.
as specific as possible. I don't know, just
We do that.
as a way to encourage being specific,
Sure,
Well,
or,
But don't you
I'm
have to
thinking if you're
reply?
asking why though, aren't there like,
Wouldn't that save you
I don't know if you can actually use the
Yeah,
word
and
why.
again,
well, my
not-
thing is aren't there like legalities to it, like you said, ask.
So,
I can just say reason for request.
Yeah, reason, but you don't wanna hinder someone asking if they want the information,
no,
that's what I'm saying,
and that's why I personally
Legalities,
would
that's true.
leave that why off and would only
Yes.
ask it if there was,
like a follow.
if it was too broad, and we weren't clear about what it is they were trying to do, and then we would say, well,
Looking for
I
more
think you
detail.
do that though with Kim, don't you, or do you?
not for
Oh.
all of them, some of them
Not
are
all
very
of them.
easy,
Oh, yeah,
you know, it's cut and dry what they're looking for, so therefore I would go back and ask them.
Yeah.
But put them through the.
but that's like a time waster for you to go back and this banter back and forth and narrowing it down.
Well,
Like
and-
it's almost accommodating,
well,
they almost have to resubmit.
right, I almost, and quite frankly, on those, working with Kim, I'm the one who makes the request. I'll go back and say,
Okay, gotcha.
you know, we've got this information, you've requested us, could you please provide me some clarity?
Okay,
And
gotcha.
you can go with that. So it isn't too bad on Kim's end. Kim does a marvelous job keeping track of all that and making sure that we have detailed records on the records requests. And obviously this year it's been much less than it's been in the past, although I mean, we do have a couple people that ask for open records that are, I mean, we get well, yes, for one person, I can guarantee that I get at least 5 a week, if not more.
So can we get a copy of like the detailed report? I know we had one
Sure.
earlier in the year, can we get like, I don't know when we want it.
It's an open record.
Yeah, by the end of May or something, just to see what the reports are.
Kim, do they have
Requests are-
access to that? Doc or not?
No, you mean the spreadsheet where I do the
Yeah.
tracking? It's a Google Doc, so I can easily
Yeah.
grant
Yeah,
access.
I think what I would do is
Okay.
grant it to this
Okay.
committee.
Okay. To the communication committee?
I like that, thank you, Jen.
Yeah.
Well, I think it just helps to kind of see what people are requesting and
Oh, sure,
it
absolutely.
gets like a,
Yep.
you know, you get a for the pulse of what
What
people
people
are
are
looking
looking
for
for.
and.
Oh, yes.
Stay
Eh,
And the other piece that I don't know that we've tactically tried this year is, I know that's come up in the past, is if it is a large request and it is something that we do have the data for, but it's gonna take sizable time, is there a cost of
Yes, oh, yes, absolutely.
Oh,
And
yeah,
those
yeah.
larger
If we've
ones,
done
right.
that practice.
It's like a certain
Yeah.
dollar amount.
Yeah, we let them know if it's going to be, and then, we had one, I know Leah was talking with me, that may be one of the ones that is still hanging open, that we haven't heard back from, that, what they were asking for was gonna run, for us to do it, was going to run probably several $100s for them to do it, and so then they are given that, you need, and quite frankly, we need to follow back up if we haven't got a request, if they haven't come back, then I'm just think we should close them out. You don't need to hold on.
I was just gonna say, as I thought about our open record request policy, I wanna review it and see if we get ourselves into that situation where we've asked either for additional
We
information
do,
or a fee. If you don't hear back within 30 days, we're closing the request, so then we don't have to continue to babysit them.
yeah, and it probably is in there, we just, as a matter of record, you know, it's one of those things that, you know, unless it's something we look at a regular basis, it's there and,
Yeah, or is it like a disclaimer that could be
I'm pretty
put
sure
in,
so.
like just a reminder, like, I don't know.
oh, yeah,
If
we
they
can,
need it, they can put it in the bottom of your,
yeah, we can put it about
at
11.
the hospital, we use dot phrases, like I'll literally press dot whatever, and then the
Sure.
whole phrase pops up, like then you can copy and paste the
We can certainly
phrase.
look into that, not a problem.
What is the average length of time that it takes to satisfy an open records request?
Some are super easy, like we got some open record requests asking election information, like that was easy, I can answer that the same day and send it out.
Okay.
There's other ones that are more complicated where you have to get IT involved or get reports run from the business office, so it really
It
varies.
really depends.
It's not just the
If we
click away.
can knock them out,
Right.
Yeah.
we prefer to do that, there's
Yeah.
some of them that we just can't.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I give you guys the Google access, I'm gonna just do viewing, not editing.
Right.
well, then Google it.
Any other questions?
No, but thanks for following up on that detailed report.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, next item is a discussion item, and this was kind of a basket of a miscellaneous topic, so thanks for putting those all on there. So first one from a committee standpoint is just discussing superintendent search. I know we're sort of in a lull, thanks for being here. Trying to figure out kind of what the next steps are. I know some of the information that's out on our website is stale, and so as we're trying to close out the school year, is it warranted to close out with the communication to our district about the status and next steps and maybe what an updated timeline is? So I think it's important to keep that top of mind with our community.
Well, I'll fill that in. I was talking to Leah and she did talk to HYA, and so we are actually opening it back up.
Okay.
I think the postings are gonna be up and running again. I gotta read my email again, today.
Yep.
Maybe early next week, something to that effect. So it's, we're now opening it back up and recruiting.
Officially taking applicants actively.
Okay.
So do you have a timeline in mind of what you want to do the interviews? I mean, last year you did interviews earlier, do you wanna wait to
I
do
think
them
it
later?
just
Do you
depends
wanna-
on the pool of applicants, and so I'm gonna be meeting with her this coming week, so it's just, everything's just kind of, but I just wanted to tell you, when I met with her last week, that she's opening up and the status of it. I'll firm up the details when I meet with her this coming week.
Okay.
That's basically where we're at, so it all depends on the, applicant pool that comes in.
Okay.
So we can, and
So
it will
potentially,
be our top priority, so she
Yeah.
knows that, HYA knows that also too, so.
well then, potentially then our communication that comes out is building the excitement of that.
Correct.
And a reminder of leveraging
Correct.
the work that's already been done.
Yep.
And I think again, just being updated and transparent from a timeline perspective, so folks understand, yep, this is still a priority and we're gonna take the information already gathered.
She sent me something.
And so not only communication, but once we understand what that timeline is, being able, I know you were keeping a visual timeline as
Yeah.
content.
Yeah.
Being able to update, I don't know if it's still out there or if it's just out of date.
I think I pulled it in
Okay.
February.
Okay, so then it's just a matter of
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
The communication policy, I had you add this just in light of, the events that happened on Monday. And one of our opportunities to sort of standardize, communication outbound and some of the triggers. I guess the reason I added it on here today was just to talk through timeline. One of the things we talked about was being able to have content ready for training when staff returned, in August for kicking off the school year. And then kind of looking through what do we believe is necessary in this policy, and so I'd like to take a stab at working with you on drafting something, and then making sure that we review it as a board, and then make sure that we're comfortable, we bring it to full board for approval, and then it's in a position to be able to be trained to, for our staff and our building principals. So we can dive into that. I know you had offered, hey, we want you to go look at some policies from other districts, I think that's a great idea. So just to put that on the timeline, I think that's one that will require us to meet maybe more frequently, just to keep that moving and finalizing.
Yep, sounds good.
Especially because my concern is full board meetings, I know I have to look at the calendar and see summer gets a little dicey and sometimes we go down to like one meeting a month. So I just wanna make sure that we've got a target and a timeline for when we wanna pull that together.
I do believe that you didn't modify your meeting schedule at all, so you're meeting twice a month.
Two in July,
Yep.
Okay,
two in
okay,
August, two in June.
alright, super.
I think we left that open in case we can cancel it if we could, but it's already scheduled,
Yeah.
so at least we need it.
Perfect.
Exactly.
Okay. Alright, excellent. So just to keep everybody in the loop on that plan, so we'll add that as a working item for next agenda, Amy, so we can dive into that. Board
So, so that policy is gonna be like, what's the main theme of it? Like,
I believe the theme that I would like to cover is the fact that we are going to clearly communicate what the standard practice will be when engaging with families regarding incidents. So whether it's the fire drill, whether it's the police, whether it's classroom evacuation, I think we need to come up with what those scenarios are. It may make
Anything
sense.
outside the normal school day
Correct,
should be
yes.
this type of communication.
I don't have them in front of me, is this a brand new policy then? Yeah, okay. I mean, I
I'm sure other
gathered
districts
it, but I'm
have it,
just
so
like
I'm hoping we
saying it
can
out loud.
save a little bit of work there and get a foundation and then
Well, we have
modify it to what.
When we started at the WASB service, so I'm sure in there's generic.
Yeah, there should be
policies
stuff
there
that we should be able
That
to
we can stem off of.
Yeah.
I can keep,
Um,
I'll explain that.
Well,
Sure.
As part of the coming.
And actually, what will happen on that as well is the services, we didn't purchase it as early as we wanted to at this point, because life was happening. So the service, I believe Leah's now got the purchase order out, we're ready to go with that. Part of that is that all of you will get trained on the policy services, so that you will be able to go in and look at them and kind of get an idea of what things are out there, which will also help you as you're moving forward, if there is a policy, particular policy you're looking for that we don't have, excuse me, you will then be able to use that to help craft or say, hey, I understand there happens to be a policy out here about this, I really like this. One of the other things that WASB, the legal service will do for you is on a regular basis, when there are new policies that have been created around the state, they will send out a list and say, hey, here are the new policies that are available, so that even if it's not something we particularly need, we'll have that opportunity. So,
Do custom policies get factored into theirs?
Yeah.
We came up on our own since it's a subscription service, so it's just
Yeah.
understanding.
Yeah.
You don't have to take them, but it's available if you want them.
yeah, anytime, if the policy's created, it becomes part of their library. And they have access to send that out to other districts, so, yes,
So our
Even if you-
content can also be leveraged by other districts.
absolutely.
Good to know.
Remember, did you do that little video tutorial?
The 45-minute one?
Yeah.
I did
Yeah.
not.
So
Actually-
also, which is nice because you're a chair, that you can also, while you're working, and it can be in a draft, that you can come in
Excellent.
and actually modify, et cetera, so that makes it really nice.
Okay.
Sarah, we'll send you a link to that video, Kim, can you just make a note? We'll get you a link, so when you have an extra 45 minutes in your life,
Sure.
I did watch the first time.
And
But then I was sold. I was sold after the first time. I needed to know more.
I do have a couple of questions on that, and I know
Sure.
we're gonna be diving in, but just maybe to get some answers ahead of time. So are we thinking that this email would then go out to the families that are affected in the classroom, or that entire school building, or that's
think
gonna
it
depend
depends
on the incident
I think it
and who's
depends on the
affected?
incident, so I think
and who's involved and.
if there's a fire drill or I don't know that we normally do fire drills because those are sort of routine. But if there were, let's say for whatever reason, we had this not too long ago, Shady Lane and North Middle School had to go on an emergency lockdown because there was somebody running around the community with a gun. And so we were notified that the police were hot on, somebody's tail.
Yep.
Locked down the schools, so we locked those both down. So within half an hour of the lockdown ending, a note went out to the families through our messaging system that said, our students were in the lockdown, that everything was fine, it was initiated because the police department had requested us to lock down. We give them as much information as we can, and then our standard your safety, the student safety and staff safety are paramount, blah, 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 blah.
Sure.
And so yes, now, if there is, for an example, because the evacuations came up, if there is, and I think this is where we're gonna have to get gray area, because not every evacuation is going to necessarily mean, we shouldn't necessarily be having to notify the parents for every evacuation, because it may be something that was just very quick. What I don't know, and
Right, and that's kind of what
yes or no.
I thought, if we bring this up now, we can kind of think about this a little bit as we're drafting the policy,
Oh, yeah.
because these questions are
Well, it'll be
Very
a work in
sensitive.
progress, it
I
won't.
feel like we'll have to bring Laura in, and I also feel like as while we don't have an outstanding standalone communication policy, there's probably communication drips into other policies, and so is there an opportunity to align that way? I think what we'll have to call out is classroom level, building level, district
Yes.
level.
Yep.
And we'll have to figure out what those communications look like, and then again, we'll have to go back to the error of we're trying to rebuild goodwill, and so do we communicate over communication at this point to be able to make sure that there is transparency and trustworthiness? Might be one of those, but there might be some exceptions where
I'd also like to see the building principals involved in the
Yeah, that's what I was
policy
thinking
development,
too.
because they're gonna have hands-on
Valuable
knowledge
input.
of how they're currently doing it and how it works, so.
Right, and currently there is like with the North and Shady Lane situation, we sent that, like I work with, is any incident, I've got this huge toolbox of all letters and messages that we tap into. And I work with them and with the evacuation at North and Shady, that went out as soon as we got the call, as soon as I got the call that the kids were being evacuated, we let parents know this is happening. And then we followed up with, okay, this is what happened that we can tell you and it's over and everybody's safe. So currently, anytime there's an evacuation like that, we automatically, before it ends, communicate, so.
This is just a general question, but it is saying the word policy in it, so it's still kind of involved there. But are you involved in other policies, like taking a look at things, or are there other policies? No, there's
No.
nothing that, okay,
Not that
just
I've been
so I know,
involved
I
in.
mean, I've been reviewing the policies, but I haven't gone through them all.
Other than,
With that said, when the policies are, I mean, cabinet does see all the policies that are being developed. And if there was a need for looping in communication
piece.
somehow, or looping in student services, or looping in
Sure.
technology, we would certainly,
Yeah.
we would get their input on that.
Yeah, makes sense, okay.
Alright, next one is board bits, so I don't really know when these stopped, but I do remember seeing them. So I'll just say they haven't been going for the last year for ease of use, but following a board meeting, there was, I just remember like a graphic or some sort of visually stimulating summary of here's the highlights that happened. So whether it was the things that were, finalized from a working session or if it were highlighting the finest, somehow, some way, I wanna be able to build that engagement where people are aware and participating in the overall work of the board. And again, seeing the impact that we're having and looking to partner with them and get them engaged as well. So I know we talked last year a little bit of, hey, is this something we can rely on our student members to participate in? Cause I don't recall who was doing it before, if it was Kim or if it was you or if it was somebody else, but I think this is a critical piece that we would like to revisit and figure out how to get back on the task.
yeah, and Kim and I have talked about it as well,
Okay.
that we will ensure that that happens the day after the board meeting.
Okay.
Students would be great for their, I mean, my only concern is if the students do it like time-wise, I know they're super busy.
Yeah.
And I think it's something that if the board meeting's Monday, Tuesday, that comes out, so it's still top of mind. And then we can then still too, like we did before, and it's shared on social and it's in newsletters and it's in, other
I know I
communication
see a lot of promotion of there is a meeting coming up, so that part happens, just so that we close the loop in
Yep.
terms of questions and content and actions that we taken.
Yep, yeah, we can start that. When is our next meeting?
May 22nd? Yes. So it's student driven though afterwards, or?
Well, I think we threw that out there as an
Yeah.
option because there was a resourcing concern of, hey, there's a
like
lot going on.
Yeah.
But when you do listen to some of the students and you hear how many activities they're in and sports
Yeah.
they're in, I wanna be sympathetic and
No,
not throw
yeah.
work. It was more of a matter of if they're interested and there's an
Mhm.
opportunity for capacity, but if you guys are gonna do it, that would be amazing.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I just think it'd be, less for them and then if
Well,
it's for
yeah.
us, then we can get it out right
And I
now.
would think too, you guys would be checking it over anyway if they initiated it, just to collaborate on it, but yeah, that's great.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Board Q&A website, so this was one that we chatted a little bit about last year, I think, a parent, in the district came forward and said, hey, when people come to the, school board meetings and they have their 3 minutes and they voice questions or bring up topics or share their opinion or their experience, sometimes there are genuine questions that come out of those conversations. And a lot of folks don't necessarily get their questions answered because of the nature of how the meeting runs. And so our intention was to be able to say, how do we close the loop? And so Amy did add, the board Q&A webpage, and so we're able to put content out there. I looked, there's one question, and it's not a meaty one, it's a pretty basic question, but I think I would love it to be the responsibility of this group as we're participating in meetings and we're seeing questions come up. Can we take opportunity to like highlight something that we think would be a good Q&A? Just whether it's something we're seeing a pattern of being inquired. I know that I've heard at least twice in meetings, for example, what's our budget for advanced students? Gifted and talented, so how do we like put some of those repeatable questions that are coming up, make sure we've got the answers out there. I think that may help with some of the email responses that come out. Hey, where's the superintendent search? Sometimes when there was a quiet period, being able to put that content out there. And so I would love it to make it a part of this group, to be able to review what that content is, partner with you if you need help on what those answers should be, that we can partner on that and then just keep it refreshed.
That would be great.
Agreed?
I do, yeah, I think that's a great idea because again, closing that loop, I know a lot of people have some very good questions that come up in the board
That we
meetings.
can answer, general
Yes.
questions and.
And it's easy to lose track of that.
But even emails that come in to just the board, I just remember off the top of my head, about the porta potties. I mean, it's not like a big deal, but I think that's important to say,
Yeah.
this was a question, this is what we've done, we've actually added, the
Action taken.
Like
you know,
highlighting
and
it.
just that the action is taken, and this is, if you were to come to any games, you'll see. And so I think that's informative, because that was one parent who emailed and we answered her, but the community
Mhm.
was like,
Right, so
where
where
does
does it go? Right.
Right.
So I think
Yeah.
that's nice to highlight.
If we can get a few, like, I don't know if you wanna write that answer somewhere, and then we can, if you have a few that we can actually put on there in the next week, then we can promote, that would help promote that page, and then you can mention at the next board meeting that we have this Q&A page for people, so that it's promoted and people get used to going there if they have a question.
Put it on my Facebook page.
Right. Yeah, you could,
Yeah.
So I've been-
I'm just laughing at her about her Facebook page, your Instagram or Twitter yet?
My followers are getting up there.
Oh, all right,
Shelley knows my thing about followers.
must stop following you, that's what we're on.
I'm competitive.
The next one is survey schedule and results, I think you added this one, Amy,
Yeah.
so.
I did add this one, and I know we do, just because we have, we do the parent survey, every year, I think we might even do it, at least we just do it in fall and then also in spring. For families to get those results, I think it would be a great idea to, or I'm recommending, I shouldn't say it's a great idea. I'm recommending that we do a web page that has just kind of a breakdown of what those survey results are, so that that's super transparent and people can like see, that, oh, this was just by different themes and things like that, so that's,
I like the idea, cause I love the transparency and I love that we can showcase that it's out there. One of the things I would like to do is we've talked about possibly augmenting the type of data that is being published as part of the results. And so one of the things I think we talked about was, and again, from a theme level, we're not quoting names or doing anything like that, but I can't recall if it broke down by school. Is it school level? Being able to say, here are the top 3 things that are working, and then here's the top 3 opportunities we have to address, I think really drives the transparency in terms of feedback that we receive. And then I think that can feed into.
District-wide.
I don't remember if it was district-wide or school-wide, because, or if it came in both and we bubbled it up to a district-wide one, but, and again, I don't know if you wanna break it out by grade level, so hey, at the elementary school level, here's the themes, at the middle school and at high school. I think to be able to just say, here's the things that are working well, that we're hearing from parents, families, community members of what's working, and then here's the things that aren't, and we need to spend a little bit more time on it. Cause I think that will help drive building our strategic plan, to take some action on it.
yeah, absolutely, okay.
That's my phone, I'm sorry. I just was talking and I couldn't hang up.
I have
It's a
emergency-
potential spam, so it went away.
Okay.
Okay, and then the next one was the pulse and messaging.
Right, I added this, I think it's a good idea for this group to every month that we're meeting, get sort of a pulse on, you know, what are you hearing? How can we get ahead of any messaging, like, is there anything, you know, that we need to, you know, bump up so that we can really like, especially now during superintendent search, are things that we can really highlight, are there things that are happening in the community that you're hearing that's, if it's a concern that we can address as a district-wide communication in any way, just I wanna keep that so that we're ahead of anything that's coming or we're answering before it gets too big. So we can drive our own messaging, so that is what that's, just
Okay.
basically an open, is there anything that you're hearing that you think we need to get ahead of?
Including this week?
This week,
So should we just like email you
Yes.
and
yeah, okay.
Sure.
so if I hear something, I'll just like what I've done, I'll just forward it to you.
Yes. And then just for full transparency, I think I've messaged to you, Amy, that I think it's important in light of the events from this week to be able to send out a district update. And so I know you guys work together on a lot of content based on media requests, and so leveraging some of that information
Absolutely.
to be able to have the board respond to the district as well as the overall community of where we're in. And I'm intending for it to be meaningful, impactful, but just current state that, hey, ongoing research and work plans are in the process of being built, and then get something like that sent. My question for you is, if I draft something over the course of this weekend, is that something you'll be able to look at, maybe with plan for sending? Okay.
Yep, and then it will go out, then we'll send it out from the board, I'm assuming, so yeah, it'll go directly from the school board.
Okay, perfect. But yes, if there's other trends that folks wanna showcase or promote, send it my way.
Maybe one and the rest of the board that too, just choose that too.
Perfect. Okay, next one is internal, external communications. So the first item on here is website. So one of the things that we've been a constant sort of pain in Amy's side is requiring website updates. And the primary reason for this is if I'm a potential superintendent, if I'm a potential teacher or administrator that wants to come here as a employment distinction, they're gonna check out our website. If I'm a potential family that's coming here, or I'm an enrolled family, I'm gonna go to the website. And so as we've all spent time out there, either looking for accolades or details on how some of the programs operate, there's a lot of refreshing that needs to be done. And so Amy has assistants coming in over the summer, correct? And so my question for you was, as she gets here and you look at the, I'll say vastness, enormity of what needs to be updated, do you have a prioritized plan of the stuff that she's going to start to jump in and start researching and refreshing?
Yes, yeah, we're gonna go through the whole sitemap. My question is, there's two ways we can do this. We can either refresh our current site, and which was, I think it's 6 years old, 6 or 7 years old. I think they did a reboot or they redid their whole site. And then I attended through Final Site, which is our website provider, and they're offering a 25% discount for a refresh. Because typically your website lasts, you want it like 5 to 7 years tops, and then you're gonna need a new site. However, the cost for that would be about $11,000. In my budget, I can manage that, but I guess from this group, is that something, would you prefer I do? And then I work with the project manager with Final Site and we go through page by page, and it's a great opportunity to clean house, some things we don't need, or is the will of this group to be just, let's just make the updates, update the photos and things
What is the
like that.
difference in cost? So it's 11,000 for a new website, what would be the update cost?
Oh, just to do just staff time, that's it.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think we need a new website.
It would be just a new look, like we would,
Yeah, I get it.
that's it, so
Like
we could do
layout.
video
Does that
on the
include-
front or,
So I guess this is where I would go
Right.
from a navigation and content standpoint, does it help with
Yeah.
reorganizing
I
navigation?
feel, yes,
Okay.
but, yeah,
So then the other piece is, I know we've heard, hey, some of the pictures are aged, some of the
Yeah.
kids are aged, and it's great to use local community children, especially if we've got permission to be able to showcase, hey, that's great, that's a picture of my kid.
Yep.
But would that be something that you would also look to do if it's a refresh?
absolutely, yeah, we'll do update photos and
Yeah.
the whole site will get a revamp, whether we do it as a new look or, and it's not gonna be drastic because it's not gonna be a custom site, cause that's like $25,000. But either way, yes, we will go through each page and do the where and so we can map out everything, so. And photos and videos and links and
The
everything.
timeline
Yeah.
is still the same.
Timeline would still be the same, I did talk to them and I said August 1st it had to be completely done. Cause we want that out the door by back to school time and things like that, so it's really you're, looking for direction, whether you want me to just go through and update links, pictures, sites, content, or maybe have a different look, potentially, with new, your website is marketing.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Traditionally, in my line of work, we get what's called statements of work, where they actually build out, here's the stuff that would be included in that $11,000.
I
Do
can
you
send
have a
that to you.
detailed estimate? If you
Yep.
can have that, I think that would be beneficial for us to understand
Okay.
what that trade-off is and if we think it would be worth it at this juncture.
Okay,
And so when you say refresh too, it's like at every school site too, like branching out?
Mhm.
Okay.
And I'm assuming when you're building a website, you have like these key search words and things that you're trying to change this to this. So that does that make the refreshing easier? Is this manageable in that same time frame?
the answer I guess would be, yes, it has to be. Yeah.
Right, I mean, because
I mean-
between them getting it done and the capacity of us to get it done.
Yes,
I mean, I don't mind what we have at all, it just tweaks, like updates
Okay.
and currentness and little things that I'll tell you. Like on the bottom of like a school page, there's always this question mark spot,
oh, that's probably, it's a photo that's not loading on your phone.
but it's like that, oh, okay, so it's just my phone?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, cause it's like that.
Well, let's take a look at what the estimate
But that's my
would
cell
include.
phone look.
I
I think we
there's
should
some
start there.
navigation, just evaluate what would be included and if we get a lift. If we don't see that
Yeah.
we're gonna get much of a lift, then I think we don't spend the money. But
Right.
I do think there's a vast amount of information, and if we're trying to drive traffic to the website,
There's
I want
definitely
it to be
opportunity for
an opportunity
Right.
to showcase. All right, I will watch for that.
Okay.
Thanks, Amy.
Yep.
Newsletter.
I just wanna let you know the open rates for the staff newsletter, the last month has bumped up to about 90%, which is phenomenal. So an open rate of 20% is great, and we're at 90. So last year it was at like, I think it ended the year probably about 60%. So I feel like the staff are really starting to catch on to that, not catch on, but to really
Get involved.
value that. And then the newsletter for families, the open rate is hovering around 80. So that's a great open rate. And then social media metrics, I did give you the report, so you can see that we are getting a lot of engagement, we're getting a lot of new new followers, our audience is growing. This just also then gives you, the top post, it's like Shannon just did phenomenal,
She was at our finance.
yeah,
last time.
You just wanna take a look at that. Our LinkedIn, as you'll see on this report, has been slow, but now we will then, with the superintendent search, we will ramp that up. We will do more posting on LinkedIn for that superintendent and try to really draw people to come here, so you will see that increase as well.
Chris, I noticed your Facebook page is now.
Oh, yeah. Great. More,
Okay.
I need more activity.
Well, and actually, now that we're talking about it, those are
More
great
engagement.
opportunities, if you have your board page still.
Advertise on your
You guys have
page.
been doing that, that's phenomenal, it's on not volunteers, but like the committees where you guys that
Yeah,
was both promoted. The more things that you can do, excuse me, like that are really helpful.
I would love to do better on it, yes, that should be a goal for me,
So,
but,
Well, interestingly enough, when you move from being a candidate to an actual board member, you have to change the title of your
Correct.
Facebook page.
Mhm.
And I didn't feel comfortable promoting things because I couldn't get my title to get updated. And finally,
oh, it took me 5 minutes.
it took me multiple attempts where it would just say, sorry, it's under review, and then it would just come back and
That's
be
so weird.
rejected. It was,
oh no,
I consider myself technically savvy, so I would just walked away for a period of time.
You probably
Now
need
that
more
I've got it
followers.
updated, it was no problem, it went through fabulously, so now I feel comfortable
Okay.
making more of those promotions.
Mine said it was gonna review, and then within
Yeah.
5 minutes it switched, I'm like,
Okay.
whoa,
It did for me eventually, it took the first
You must
20
be
requests and I
on their
wasn't
radar.
Can I ask you, would it be helpful if I send you things like by email, like, hey, can you promote this on your page?
Absolutely.
I
Okay.
would, yes, I
So
would
if you
find
can
that
send a
very
link to
helpful.
like whatever you do on Instagram or whatever you do on Facebook, then it's
Okay.
easy for us to go click the link of what you posted and then
Okay.
do a reshare.
Okay, gotcha.
I would almost wonder if it wouldn't be helpful as well to have just some general guidelines that we put out about that page and give you some, almost a template of things that you can put out there. So that, you know, as you come across stuff, you can say, oh, hey, that would be great, I should put that up there. And then, what I'd really like to see, if there is a possibility, is that you then share that back with Amy so that we can then share it out to the other board members or you share directly. Just so that, you know, no matter what board member's page they go to, they're seeing similar things. And particularly around events that we're trying to promote. I don't know if that would be helpful or not, I don't know how that would look.
So hopefully
Right,
the
so, I
communication
mean,
board members will do that, 'cause
I would
Right.
love to be very
I will,
on
and
it.
I'll have it.
Yes,
But
so
I
if
am
we're
not a
getting
fan
things
of
from
social
you, we
media.
can just,
And then you can just grab it from
I
my.
I mean, my thing
Fine,
is I
I
just
don't
have
even
the
do
school
it,
district
I
on the
just-
top of my feed
Mhm.
and then I kind of pick and choose what I wanna share
Right.
and
Sure.
what sings to me.
Yeah,
I'm not too young.
I was gonna say, I think a
So,
lot of it comes
it's-
down to unique areas of interest and things
Yeah.
that they have a particular.
And I kinda like that though, like from each board member, like highlighting a certain thing that they're drawn to.
Sure.
But yeah,
I
I
think
get
that-
it, but it helps to get more ideas.
Well, I think that would help with consistent brand as well. I mean, that's, I mean, obviously one of our big goals is that things are branded correctly across the.
Well, and we do, like if there's key opportunities for hiring,
Mm-hmm.
like you've indicated, if there are, so in my private sector role, we promote certain blogs or certain articles or certain events or just anything to help with supporting brand, so to do that would be, I'm sure, much appreciated. But we get the easy email that says, hey, here's the link, go promote it, and
Yeah.
then it's much easier than having to keep current with the stuff you're
Yep.
proposing, so
Okay,
that'd be
Sounds
awesome.
all right.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Would be helpful.
Okay, community and staff engagement. So we're gonna talk a little bit about events and a survey.
Yep, so is, the events that are coming up, Menominee Falls High School Baseball is playing at AmFam Field and we are, I think, have one loss, right?
Yes.
So it's like, and baseball here is like the National League. I mean, it's pretty, it's pretty high here, so which is fantastic.
And it's
So
a free event.
it's a free event, and they're tailgating, so I believe it's the 17th.
Yep, that's next one. So
Okay.
I'm already RSVP.
RSVP, perfect.
I have a baseball player in the family, so.
Oh, okay, well then, okay, perfect. And then class graduation is June 2nd, high school graduation is June 9th. Middle school promotion, I thought I saw it was June 7th.
It was like
Just
the
a
day
moment.
before, yeah.
No,
This is a side note too, just for the board members, that I reached out to Erin and we're gonna do the grad plan again
Okay, good.
for the Quest students. The board members, I will get a list of Quest graduating students. And I think Sue will be sending me like a little blurb about them, and then we'll divvy it out among the board members, and then each of us write a personalized kind of note that we get with the graduation.
North, North graduation's June 8th,
Okay, thank you.
9 to 10.
Haven't got that link yet. Thank you.
Oh.
They haven't sent me that one.
I'll be
No, I
there.
didn't, it was actually just an email, and it was an
Terry sent
invitation
it
in
to
the
us.
email, it wasn't like a
I didn't
invite.
get that yet, I need
Oh.
that, that's right,
I'll forward it to you.
I just want, no, I'll get it on the calendar, I don't wanna miss that one
I think
either.
it said 9 to 10.
Yeah. The Quest graduation is actually the same time as that board tour,
Correct.
but I think we're gonna cancel
Right, potentially, yeah, we have
with two
two
people.
people, and we've had over 1,000 invites go out.
Oh, for the community one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
So-
then that's not worth
We can look at
Or
scheduling
reschedule.
it later on, but when I saw that it ran up against the Quest, we were
Yeah,
gonna have to do something about it anyways, cause I'm obviously going to be a Quest.
I would like to be there.
The one thing that I don't have on here is the Educator Academy is being recognized. It's our first group of Educator Academy seniors.
Yeah.
So, and that is something that I will send to the media with a pitch of, you know, teachers and teacher, you know, shortage. And this is why we've got kids that we wanna, you know,
Mhm.
they're going into education, they're dedicated to, and we're sending them out into the world, it's our first grade class,
I
so
know, I wanna go that one too.
that's on June second.
Can we lock them up as future educators for our district?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
Are they 18, can they sign up?
Well, once they complete their 4 or 5 year degree,
When
can
is the
they,
graduation, what time is, because Quest is on June
I
second.
think it's in the afternoon.
1:40 it says in room 231.
I remember vaguely getting that invite.
Yeah.
I remember something,
For the
Education.
You want me to
education,
put this in your calendars?
yes.
it is
I can't.
June 2nd at
Just
1:40.
everything gets like.
June
There's a
second
lot-
at,
there's a lot,
June
I
second
know.
at 1:40.
I don't get it that day sometimes.
I responded to her.
Yes,
So that's a really
1:40 in room
improvement,
231.
I think, for us.
Who was it that said that's great?
So, and then we
I
have
wanna
pennant
say it was a
signing.
teacher
Allison
name, but I
Leon.
didn't recognize it. It was I don't know teachers.
Allison Leon.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I thought it was,
Yeah.
okay.
And then we have pennant signing on May 18th, I don't know if anyone has gone to that, but that is just
Yep.
such a unique event here that is so cool.
I'm
I
going.
think she's going.
You're going to
Just me?
sir, I don't know if you're
What
familiar with
time is
that.
it?
It's like 9:40.
What time?
Did you
What
say
day?
May 8th?
It's like on a,
Eighteenth.
May 18th.
Oh, okay, I missed the 18th.
I have a lot going on.
I got a lot
I have a
going on.
senior, so,
Oh,
You
so-
back-to-back seniors?
yeah, back
Oh,
to back
those are all of our
seniors.
committee meetings that day too.
so pennant signing is they have all the
Same
seniors
here.
in the gym, and they have all of the pennants of school, career, and service laid out, and then they let them go, and then they go down and they pick whichever, their school, their, or career, or whatever they're doing, and they all sit at tables and they color their pennants. It
They
is
have
the
food
coolest
and
thing, and then I
stuff.
take a
They
huge
take a
group
big
too.
group
What time
picture.
is that?
Yeah.
May 18th?
It's usually like 9:30.
I have it, I'm
9:25.
sorry.
Here, it's right here. It's
Got it.
9 to 10.
Yeah, it's a weird time though, it's like,
It is that the counselors in high school
hour.
do it, it's a phenomenal event, so.
Last year they had really good donate, like Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for
Chick-fil-A.
I was there, yeah. Okay, good spread for the.
Yeah. So, and then
Okay.
17th is the Youth Apprentice Breakfast, and then
We
we
have that one.
are planning the back to school fair, we're doing an all district back to school fair, so that we can actually do some promotion of the district and hiring maybe, and we're planning a community resource fair just to get everybody in the door, everybody gets their picture taken, you get forms, we're hoping it helps us with like getting kids' families information and things like that, so we're gonna try it. Kettle Moraine has done it, it's been really successful, so we'll give it a try this year.
And when would that be?
That is August 16th and 17th, I believe, and I'll send out the times for that meeting.
Does the first place they show up and do like the
No,
registration?
No, because then schools are also planning their individual come and bring your bag and
Okay.
drop it off, so we're hoping that actually eases some of that, so that you don't
Sure.
have to do all this stuff and bring your bag and do all these things, so we've met with principals and leadership and they all are on board and admin assistants are on board, so we're hoping it's gonna be a good turnout.
You
So-
said Kettle Moraine, does that?
Kettle Moraine, I don't know if they still do it, they have done it before in years past, and it was very successful there, so.
Okay, oh, we talked to them also.
Yeah.
Kettle Moraine.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who the communication person was there when they were doing it. I'm not sure, Troy, his kids go to Kettle Moraine and so they had to have done it within the past 5 years still. So. And then the other thing that I have listed is it's a communication and climate survey to do, done them, I think up till COVID, we did them every spring. And it just gives, we have the other surveys that we do, but this one is more specific to communications. We wanna know like, what information are you looking to get from the district? Are you more interested in curriculum or events or, more specifically like technology? Are you on our social media? Do you, just so we can get more specific information, so it helps us better communicate and reach out to families. So we've got that on, and then I'll promote that and get some answers and we can review that.
Will you send that out to community or will you send that out to district?
That will go to district, yeah. And, yeah,
Is there a way for a non-family member to get district updates and communications, or do they have to come out to
They can, as
Can
currently,
can somebody subscribe to our
Yep.
district newsletter
yep,
and?
absolutely, and we do get a lot of that.
Okay.
It would be, it would be great if like either they're, like if we could partner with the village and then we have the city and rec, if we can even get like a short blurb with a QR that can take them to a place that they can sign up where they can get. So it's easier for people that don't have kids in the district to get information about Parks and Rec.
But not everybody knows how to use a QR.
QR, that's
I'm
true.
just telling you,
Yes.
those in the rec.
I'm aware, but thank you.
Or it could be on like a little card with the QR and then the info on the side too, like the website. Hand type it in.
Yeah.
Well, because those who don't have children obviously are probably older, so they
Right.
wouldn't actually know how to use it.
With instructions, I have
Well,
faith.
yeah, it's just, yeah,
Oh,
Another
take a
avenue,
picture of
'cause I-
this, click link when it appears, but
Right.
we'll figure it out.
What we could do, and
Also
maybe,
do a link through the website that says sign up here.
and in the fall
Yeah,
to do
true.
like a 4-page community mailer, although that's expensive, I'd love to be able to, I'll partner with Jason in City and Rec, and when their book goes out, that we have a page that has school district information.
yeah, that makes the most sense.
Yeah, cause then that takes the, I mean, we obviously have to kick some
Right.
to that cost, but it wouldn't be our responsibility for a 4-page
The
mailer.
entire,
Yeah.
yes.
Did we do the mailers this year where we had like one or two that came out?
We didn't, cause things kept, yeah, we wanna make the best bang for our buck we had, and time we didn't. So, but I would love to
Maybe
plan that
revisit
for like superintendent search and welcome, so that we can get that all
Tied in.
tied in.
Alright, let's get that back one on the calendar for this year. Okay. Alright, let's set the next meeting date. This is gonna be the challenge. When I chatted with Amy about the agenda for today, one of the things that I requested was, I think the intention of this board this committee is to truly represent board messaging, board communication, either board driving, awareness of activities that are happening in the district, or working with Amy and Kim on things that this board wants to take action on. And so with the lens of this being board centered, hopefully that helps drive some of our topics, and knowing that the regularity that we wanna meet, given all the things that we're introducing and changing. So I would like to meet on a monthly basis. I know as we were setting out agendas and times, we've got some limitations. I would prefer to go after school. I'm truly missing work right now and missing a work meeting by being this late. Happy to do it as an accommodation. I know 7:00 was problematic for you, so as long as we're planning it out a month in advance, I think what we ended up doing was picking like for the finance committee, we picked like the third Thursday or third something, and then it just, hey, invites got issued, people knew about it and they could plan accordingly. And if something happened where there was a conflict, that way we just always know there's a meeting and it works with the other boards that we're on. So with that, I don't know if we wanna start somewhere, we're taking a look at what may work.
Yeah, I'm flexible too, as far as, if you're wanting to go after school, that's fine for me. My busier time is that right after school, cause I do have, I'm then on board for my kiddos who are a little bit younger, but
What days?
depending on the days and times, cause and then the time of year, right, my summer schedule is different than the school schedule, but again,
Well, we can get through like
we
the
can-
next 3 months.
we
I
can
was gonna say, I
get
think we
some-
look for June right now and try to do June, July and
Yeah.
Yeah.
August and
Yeah.
make sure that we
Excuse me.
So as far as days of the week, let me just think here.
Well, Mondays are probably bad. Well, I mean, if it's an opposite Monday, but.
Yeah, opposite Monday would work for me, so first or third.
I can do
I
opposite
feel like we
Mondays.
have opposite Mondays, we have a lot of work sessions that have been
Six-ish.
scheduled.
Oh, correct, that's true. Okay,
But then you have time issues too.
What about Tuesday the 13th?
Tuesdays are not good for me.
I'm Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm very flexible. And even most Fridays, or,
What about Thursday the 15th?
I am not in the office that week.
okay,
Alright, what about the 22nd,
20.
the Thursday?
I'm out that day, but you guys don't.
Amy does.
So what time were you thinking? Like
I'm
early?
open till like 4:30, but I wanna be flexible how that works with picking up people.
Yeah, so Thursdays at 4:30 should work.
Thursday's a hot day for curriculum and policy.
I
I
have
mean,
nothing on my
not
calendar
coming in.
right now.
I know,
So
I know.
let's strike while the iron's hot and take it, so.
Yeah, right.
Let's do
I
June,
can do Thursday the 22nd.
Okay.
let's do June 22nd at 4:30.
Is there any chance we could do that at 4?
I can do it at 4.
I can do it at 4.
I'll make myself available for.
I appreciate it.
Alright, and then let's look at, do people know July? How does the 13th look?
13th should work.
4 p.m.?
Sure.
Yes.
Alright, and then can I just be really egregious and put another 27th out there if we need it?
Yeah,
Because I feel with the
Like a
work we
backup in
wanna do
case
on the
there's somebody who
policy
can't.
or something else, I
Oh,
just
okay.
feel like sneaking that in before
yeah,
back to school for August might be nice.
4 p.m.
Okay.
And whether or not we make that a working session, Amy, we can talk through what that one is, but alright, super. Alright, that at least gets through the next couple months.
Sounds good.
Excellent. Alright, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Oh, wait,
Couple
are
more.
we gonna do future agenda items? 'Cause
Oh, what do you have?
well, I was thinking about that board liaison policy.
Yeah.
Do you want to address that in here?
Not really. I think that makes more sense to the other,
I just thought I
Policy
could throw
committee.
that out there.
that's fine.
Well, I mean, it could be driven in here a little bit. Okay, and then, the email process, how, is that gonna be all discussed? I thought there was something.
We had a workshop set up to talk about that,
Okay,
and I certainly have
so
some-
that will,
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
we could certainly, if you guys, I think the workshop is set up for the 15th,
June 12th.
June
Yes.
12th. So. So my guess is that that will be
So we
hashed
will-
out, but if
We
there's
won't be
anything-
meeting before then as a group, actually.
That's all right.
It's communication.
I think we have that workshop and then if there's things we need to address or
Okay.
things we need to bake in.
I just thought maybe that might funnel into here a little bit, I mean,
I
everything
certainly-
technically could fall under communication, but,
I
right, in the
think
real
so.
world?
Yeah.
Well, I think there's probably some best practices we can put in there in terms
Yeah.
of response time and
Yeah,
how stuff, once it comes in, how's the
yeah, like
website,
that, best
so.
practices, yeah. And then, let me just check one other picture. I have just lots of little procedural ideas and things like that, not procedural, but that's it, that's all I have for new agenda.
Alright, super. Anything from you?
Oh, and before we adjourn, I coerced a yay out of her, or an aye.
Yeah.
But she wasn't in that meeting, so scratch Sarah on the vote for the minutes, cause she wasn't. Okay, yeah, it's just you. I know, you were good, I forgot, you were there.
You can improve the next one.
I'm not awake.
Alright, super. Now are you comfortable adjourning?
Yes, I'm all good,
Alright, I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll motion.
I'll second.
Thank you.